Okay, so Shane McMahon. We were talking about that a little bit ago. I told you guys, clip online, check it out. But just the cliff note of that, there's a picture that comes out, Tony Khan, Shane McMahon. I said, listen, they maybe weren't even meeting up about wrestling. They might have just been meeting up about like investing in Major League Soccer, whatever. I said, Shane looked legitimately off guard in the picture. Tony looked like he was like a kid caught in the, like he's looking away. Oh, almost like his assistant's the one who walked in, snapped that picture, and it got sent to Wrestle Talk somehow. Whatever. I'm being speculative. I'm being conspiratorial about it. But we have some insight, so I want to talk to you about it. But first, what were let's first dive into Philmark's Bookmarks. Welcome to Philmark's Bookmarks, Marie. It's a scary and dangerous place sometimes, but
it is.
Yes. There's also lots of laughs to be had. But what were your initial thoughts when you saw that picture? Do you think Shane McMahon will come into AEW?
No. If he does, I'm gonna be like, bro, I'm just probably gonna side eye him and then maybe watch from afar and be like, okay, what are you gonna do? But when I first saw it, I just rolled my eyes and really didn't pay attention to Twitter until like I really looked at the picture. And people are gonna get mad at me. And I am gonna do this conspiracy thing.
Wait. I gotta give you an X-Files. Here we go, Marie. Here we go.
I said my various social media platforms, you guys could go to my community tab on YouTube, that I said that I think it's fake because of the way that the picture was taken and me just being around content creation and editing since like 2015. You basically pick up certain little things. Like if this picture was truly taken, right? First of all, we all have like really high definition cameras. And if you notice on the picture, it does say HDR. So HDR, what that basically means is that high definition range is supposed to make that picture like super, super clear to where you can see everything. So like, you know how the window right there is like super bright. It probably would have adjusted it so you could see what's outside. You could see underneath the table. Like, I don't know where Tony Khan's legs are at. Like, I don't know why that's super dark. And it just looks so grainy.
You're pointing out I never even thought of. You're cooking. Oh my God.
So basically the picture is so grainy. And do you remember what kind of cameras take grainy pictures? It's called like the Potato 99, which is like back in the 90s. They had like the digital cameras before we like all upgraded to smartphones, and like it'll be grainy sometimes. So why is this picture grainy if we're in 2024 and we have smartphones that cost $1,000 and up? So HDR is supposed to make that picture look fantastic. It really doesn't. Now, the other thing too is that Tony Khan, I mentioned this in my like reasons why I think it's fake. His wrist is a little too skinny for me to be like, yo, there's something wrong with that. His fingers too. And also where is his other arm? Like it looks like it was Photoshopped. Like they put him there in that. Also, I do think that Shane McMahon had either Shane or his team had like tweeted this picture out with this table and like that drink and the 3 cups and him standing there a while ago. So I think that this is a resurfaced picture that is photoshopped and semi-faked. And by the way, why is Shane's body not fully in the picture if someone is opening the door and taking a picture? Like the angle doesn't make sense when you look at it.
Oh,
you know,
shit.
You have a serious face of Shane and then a shocked face of Tony Khan over here. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. So that was my first reaction. I was like, why now? Why would you drop this other than the other fact of trying to get ratings to boost up for AEW Dynamite because they don't know how to make stories? Like the tactics are going to run out.
Oh my God. That's honestly, I never even thought about like, yo, look at this guy's.
Listen,
where's his legs? Look how skinny his wrist.
Yeah,
like calling him a skinny geek.
So basically, right? If we look at Tony Khan in 2019 when he was doing the media scrums and they always use that one picture, right? He looked absolutely good, right? Like you could tell that he has a healthy frame, and then all of a sudden, 5 years, now it's like hello, I think something's wrong. Like it looks wrong. And by the way, once I saw the HDR up there in the picture, I had to do research because I was like, wait a minute, why would any picture, if you take a normal picture of you and your friends or a selfie, HDR does not pop up. So I don't know why.
That's like
so
plugging a video camera into a like that. I think that pops up when you like plug your camera, digital camera, or maybe a phone now into like a television.
something like that, right?
Something like that. Yeah, like one of those like photo boxes or whatever. I don't know, but I was curious about that too. And I'm glad you raised that point. And my theory also was like, if this was snapped on Monday and Wrestle Talk got the scoop, then why didn't they release it Monday? Why did it just come out on Wednesday before Dynamite? We'll see if it helped the ratings at all. But I never never even thought to break it down the way you did. The way I took it was this. They're in this office. Tony Khan looks like he set this all up, but you're right. He looks like he's got like the Little Rascals, like he's sitting on one of the Little Rascals' shoulders, and that's like a child's arm. That's Alfalfa's arms coming out the fucking side. You know what I mean? Like that's what it looks like. You're like, dude, is this guy E.T.? But it looks as though Shane is truly caught off guard and in a serious discussion. And then it looks like Tony McMahon is like, oh, hey, my assistant, how are you?
Yeah, right.
Look at Shane right now. Like it's almost like he knew someone was going to come in, snap the flick, and then they were going to drop this on Wednesday, and they could have been talking about anything. Well, we have an update. Our conspiracies aside, Marie, you caught me so hard with your analysis of that. That was brilliant. But we have some like update on all of this because me too. I was sitting there going, look, this is just a ploy to get ratings. This has got to be photo. What is this? Tony must have leaked this himself, but the dirt sheet should be ashamed. Let's say this is going to happen. Why would you want that out there purposefully? That makes me think it's not going to happen for that reason. But either way, I digress. It's time for a Dave Meltzer dumb moment of the week. So Dave Meltzer says, I know Shane McMahon has looked to get back in WWE. So Shane has been looking to get back in WWE. I bet Dave's making that up, but let's continue. I know that the people in charge of WWE except actually like Tony Khan have no interest in him. Could that change with the idea that he'd be willing to go to AEW? Maybe not. So Dave's creating a narrative here.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, this is all his speculation, but he's going to just start it by going, well, I know that he looked to get back in WWE. Did he? How do you know that? You got to say how you know that, or we ain't buying it. And yeah, he goes on to say, should AEW take him? Which is probably the big question. Is it a leverage play for him to try and get back into WWE? Wouldn't surprise me at all. So Dave now with a conspiracy. And he's saying like, look, maybe Shane did this to try and make WWE go, oh no, we're gonna bring you back in, Shane. I pointed out on my show, how do we know Stephanie, Triple H, and Shane aren't all on the phone laughing like he really met with our brother? He really met with Shane. Like, what an idiot. Anyways, though, he's trying to paint this narrative. Shane's this manipulative, weird dude. And I also don't like that. Dave doesn't understand how we backhand. He thinks he's helping AEW and he thinks he's helping paint this sort of narrative to try and help people. Oh no, I don't know if that's what he's thinking, but he's like he always backhand insults everyone. He's like, oh, why'd you bring Hologram in? I mean, he's good, but like Commander's better, but Commander's a jobber. And it's like, well, you just buried everyone there, and you just buried Toros, who just went 30 minutes with Commander on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, dude. You're burying everyone, Dave, and you don't even realize you're doing it because you're a dummy. Yeah. But, so Dave goes on to say, but I know from people in WWE, name them or narrow, at least say, I have a source, I can't name them, but if I'm wrong, me. At least say that, but he won't ever do that. It's just, oh, well, my source is wrong, not me. And we don't know who that is. So anyways, I know people in WWE, like I said, he's tried to get back. There's a lot of negativity, I would say, has been there for a long time. What, with like the old guard? Dave always talks about WWE like it's like 2016 still.
Yeah.
Or 2008 still. It's
Liar!
What are your thoughts on that, on Dave's take?
It's Uncle Dave being Uncle Dave, and you can't tell him anything different because it's Uncle Dave. Like, he thinks that chip on his shoulder is gonna keep him safe and untouchable forever, and it's like, no. Sometimes it's okay to say, if you are reporting or making stuff up, it's okay to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens. You will get a lot more credibility and go further if you tell your audience, hey, I don't know.
You're absolutely right. So we get the headline from the Observer saying Shane McMahon issues statement on great meeting with AEW's Tony Khan. So that's their spin. Shane McMahon did issue a statement. We're going to read it here, but just there. And Meltzer talks about spins. We've covered it on the show.
God.
He admits it in his reporting, like, well, you could spin it this way and spin it. He talks about it. This is their spin. Shane McMahon issues statement on great meeting with AEW's Tony Khan. Was it so great? Well, let's continue and look. Via PW MMA News, but this is the source is busted open after dark. Bully Ray says, I called Shane McMahon, and he gave a statement and cleared up the air. Here's the statement. He read it on the air. Statement after meeting with Tony Khan. Tony and I were connected through a mutual friend, and we had a great meeting. We talked about many things. So exactly like myself and Chris Connor said on the live show, guys, they were probably talking about investing in, who knows, Tony could have been like, let's start a Major League Soccer club. Oh, hey, AEW, right, And then he can spin it and go, we had a talk about AEW, and that's why I think Tony's assistant came in, snapped the pick, they got it to Wrestle Talk. I think Tony weaseled this interaction where they probably did talk about AEW, but they talked about it in the way of a business venture, and they talked about it in the sense of I bet this meeting was predicated on things other than wrestling, but I think that this is the same when it got out that Mercedes Moné talked to Shane McMahon about AEW in the airport. That's called embellishing the truth. If they're not lying, they did, but this is what the conversation was. Ready? Hey, Shane, good to see you. Hey, I work for AEW now. And then, that's great. Yeah, keep doing your thing. Love you. Got to catch a flight. Bye. That's the conversation. So it's not lying to say they talked about AEW technically, but it's embellishing the truth. And that is what this is right here. And I feel like that's what this picture is. It looks like Tony's like, didn't think you'd come in. Hey, assistant. Get us a coffee. And then Shane's looking at him like, are you filming me, bro? Like, like, bro, we're having a conversation here. What the fuck you know what I mean? So anyways, though, let's read Shane's statement. Tony and I were connected through a mutual friend, and we had a great meeting. We talked about many things, but mostly about our shared love for the business and the rewards and challenges of working with family. Damn. So, Tony's like, our dads, right? Jesus. I congratulated him on the 5-year anniversary of AEW and look forward to how he evolves the business moving forward. So, I mean, just a basic, like, they just talked and consulted a bit. Tony's known for, like, making people sign NDAs and meeting up with Jim Cornette and, like, early on, and other names, other people as well. So I'm not saying Shane signed an NDA or anything, but that's what I think this is. I think Tony just figured a way to get Shane in a room and snapped a picture of it, dropped it on this Wednesday because he wants over 800,000 again, because he had about over 800,000 the last 2 Dynamites for about an hour of each program, which is good for AEW, all things considered. And so just leading up to All In, I think he's trying to drum up as much hype as possible, and it's kind of a little desperate in my opinion. But Marie, what are your just like final thoughts on all this, and do you think it helped AEW in any way?
I really do, I appreciate and respect Bubba Ray 100%.
Me too. Yeah.
It's just a part of me is always going to be like, we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks, because even though that's a very nicely tighten PR kind of statement, because Shane knows everything about, how to keep up with like PR and how to keep up with the look and stuff without giving like too much away. To me, in the back of my mind, is like, I still think the picture is fake. I still think, this meeting really didn't happen. I'm more inclined to believe the way that you explain it about like the quick little chit chats and not an actual like board meeting, which I found out through I guess the internet peeps that in airports they do have like office rooms dedicated to meetings. You could tell I don't really travel like that, so I don't have business.
Well, I can tell you, like, just in the entertainment business, like, shoot work on the shoot work, brother. But that's where people meet, dude. You get executives. They're just happen to be at the same airport. They get a little office like this. Their private jets happen to land on. They're just happen to be walking through. That's how people do meetings all the time in the entertainment industry. I'm sure it's happened in wrestling numerous times. You know, I'm sure a lot of airport deals. You know, napkin deals are made in airports. So
you know, we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks to see if like anything comes about this. Because I'm still going to be on the side of like, hey, I'm going to trust my gut on like what I see, you know, and then we'll see what happens. Does it shoot AEW in the foot? Well, they've been doing that ever since Punk left. So,
and like, you know, him being it just seems so desperate because he just called this dude's dad and WWE, where Shane made his name in his life, the Harvey Weinstein of wrestling. Yeah. So like, I'm surprised Shane didn't have words with him about that.
Right.
That might be why Shane looks so red. Maybe he was dressing him down or something. Who knows? But yeah, that's I don't know. That's about all we know of it. And if Shane shows up at All In or something, okay, then he pulled it off. If he doesn't show up, it's just another backfire fail of like a little marketing ploy. And oh no, it's just to drum up the internet discussion. Nah, dude, it just stinks of desperation leading up to All In my opinion. It's just kind of. It's like lol cow at this opinion. You know what I mean? You know what a lol cow is?
Yeah.
CM Punk, he talks about airing the Jack. Just look at the look on his face in this one. He's just like, all right.
Yeah.
But he gets asked about AEW airing the Jack Perry footage. Let's listen to his reaction to it, I guess, months later now.
So it's just, it felt really ugly. Like, but then I was just like, why? Like, showing that footage isn't gonna help them or hurt me. So I was just like, whatever. And you know, I
did you get?
I was just said being the top draw in like 2 different companies is pretty wild. You know, like thanks guys.
Yeah. He was their top merch seller in AEW and WWE at the same time when he switched over. That's insane.
It is
airing that footage, and this is just timely that this gets brought up again because this Shane thing, it just feels like more egg on the face of AEW. It just I don't know, man. They've taken pro wrestling to such a kooky world in the last year. And the fandom has,
Cody has said in an interview.
Yeah, okay. So I have another clip from that same interview. And here we go. This is this is his thoughts on Shane McMahon being in AEW.
Everyone's losing their minds and going crazy because there's a photo of Shane McMahon meeting with Tony Khan, and you have a history with both AEW and WWE. I'll just say, Punk, what are your thoughts?
Pass.
Good answer.
Would it shock you if he ended up in that company?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
He's just, bro.
Good answer.
He couldn't give it. Yeah. And like, he just couldn't give it. Who cares? I said it before. They could resurrect Macho Man in his prime and Andre and have them, you know, bring out a Hulk Hogan in his prime, a Hulk Hogan clone. And it just wouldn't matter for AEW. There's nothing they could do. They could get John Cena. And at this point, just the people just don't trust them to do anything good with anyone. So, you just see Punk. He's like, I don't give a shit. What am I going to talk about? Shane going to AEW?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was a great answer. He's the best.